Hello, I'm Lori Tarini. I'm a certified animal trainer and behaviorist with degrees in zookeeping and animal health and behavior. I'm currently the director of behavioral husbandry at Spirit Keeper Animal Sanctuary, and I'm so pleased to be able to offer you my consultation services with your population of captive Bredl's pythons. I'm offering an advanced behavioral husbandry plan for Morelia Bredli that's designed to enhance their well-being, streamline care protocols, and improve keeper safety. The plan incorporates the behavioral traits innate to Morelia Bredli into classical and operant conditioning to make these individualized behavior management plans. My consultation services are going to be accompanied by a manual that's going to have focal behaviors defined that are innate to Bredl's pythons. It's going to have sample data collection forms and show you how to graph those. It's going to have a general glossary of terms, and I'm going to share how you can educate the public and other staff members about the behavior modification you're doing and how that benefits the snakes as well as those caring for them. Working with innate behavioral traits that we know that this species already engages in, we can come up with management plans that incorporate these traits into classical and operant conditioning. So their natural hunting behavior, which is an instinctual ambush position, can be incorporated into classical and operant conditioning to establish not only communication around meals, but then built upon to train cooperative behaviors like shifting, stationing, and recalling. Another example is that we can work with their natural inclination to roam and resource seek to teach them behaviors that involve movement, like shifting. This is an infographic that's going to be included in the manual that details how classical conditioning works to teach the snake to start associating an animal training target with mealtime. You're teaching them basically a word or a signal that in their mind means, I'm going to get fed. Let's see that in practice. The snake is in their natural ambush position. As soon as she sees the target, she starts hunting because she knows that she's about to be fed, and this reduces any ambiguity around meals. You can also condition the snakes this way to be touched and handled. If you touch them repeatedly with a snake hook or other object and then immediately touch and handle them, they will start to associate being touched with that object with being handled. And although it's something they may not like, it eliminates any surprisingness. And so they know if they're touched with this, they're going to be handled, and it keeps the stress level of that interaction much lower because they know what's about to happen. Operant conditioning with positive reinforcement is the core of all of the training that we do. And Bredl's pythons can learn very easily that reinforcement is contingent upon performing specific behaviors first. So they can follow a training target, they can shift to a station. And this is an example of this snake shifting out of a transport carrier onto a station at the vet by following a preconditioned animal training target, and he was subsequently reinforced with food. We practice this behavior first at our home facility. So through many sessions of reinforcing successive approximations of that goal behavior, this snake learned to delay reinforcement and follow a training target out of his primary habitat and position his body in a specific way on the station. Because he's 6 feet long, the whole body needs to fit on this station. It's a mobile station that once he's on it can be moved to an exam table, that can be moved to a scale, that can be put in a large carrier to go in a vehicle. So once we reach the end of the behavior is marked by changing the position of the target, stopping its movement, and then he's reinforced with food. We can also manage unwanted behaviors using these same principles. Glass surfing, for example, is one of the things we commonly see from Bredl's pythons under captive management. It's likely a result of them not being able to free roam. In the wild, Bredl's pythons travel large distances to locate resources, and even though they don't have to do this under captive management, we still see this freedom-seeking behavior because they have this innate compulsion to roam. We can mitigate the glass surfing by giving them environmentally complex habitats, giving them large habitats, engaging them in training exercises that I've already mentioned, and then giving them opportunities to exercise outside of their enclosures to satisfy this innate urge to roam and move around. The Behavioral Husbandry Manual is going to complement my consultations, and it's going to have training plans in it, definitions. Let's take a look at some of those specifically. This is a sample infographic from the manual. There's going to be several of these inside. These are samples of the focal behaviors. You can see ambush there at the top, which we've already talked about, and how each one is defined. These are samples of data collection forms and how you can then take the data from those forms and graph it. And the glossary of terms is very unique because it does have normal animal training terms in it, but those are going to be defined, and then an application of how those pertain directly to Bredl's pythons is going to be included. So for example, predictability is defined as consistent repetition of an action, making it possible to know in advance what to expect. And the application of that for Morelia Bredli is that they learn concise signals to predict what management task is about to happen. This keeps stress levels lower because there are no surprises. Here's an example of signage. And you want to show visitors and other staff that don't necessarily work with these snakes how beneficial behavior management plans are. So you can come up with signage that show a specific behavior, for example, glass surfing, and what's being done about it, and then include some possible explanations as to why the snakes do it. This is a well-researched document, and my training consultation services are also thoroughly researched and well thought out. A lot of resources are going to be included in your manual. I thank you very much for your time. If you have questions or you want to arrange consultations, you can reach me through email or through my website. And I do have an educational platform on Patreon. You can also reach me through the Animal Sanctuary, where I am currently the Director of Behavioral Husbandry, and that is spiritkeeperanimalsanctuary.org. Thank you again so much, and please remember to always be kind and love your animals.